We can shine in a crowd, we never hesitate. Let us rise to the cloud.
A company called Your Legacy. I have a couple of venture capitalist projects, own 2 homes. I mean, this is all by the age of 24 years old. I would have never thought this to be ever possible. I still would have figured I'd be chipping away at my university debt I had of $40,000. So literally, it changed the mindset that has just completely projected my life path into something that I never thought was possible.
Dreamaholics, how you doing? It is great to be with you. Remember, Dreamaholic is somebody who's completely dedicated to making their passions and dreams become a tangible reality. Now, question for you. When you look at your bank account, are you happy? Are you excited? Are you enthusiastic when you look at your bank account? If your answer is no, you've got a perception problem. When you look at your financial portfolio, you know, your cryptocurrency or your stocks, your gold, your real estate, whatever it happens to be. If you're looking at your portfolio and you're like, not so nice, or it's non-existent, you got a perception problem. When you look at your career or business and you know that you are capable of much more, much more, and you're not seeing it reflected in your results, you got a perception problem. I mean, so what are you talking about, Noel? Well, I'm going to get to it. So look, if I was to say to you that you could completely change all of that within 90 to 120 days, just with a shift in perception, would that be of interest to you? If the answer is yes, you're in the right place. Because I got a message for you today. Get your notepad and pen and get your mocha or your chocolate or whatever you're drinking, and let's get into this, all right? Now, first of all, what is perception? Perception is the way that you see things, okay? So whether it's the way you see yourself, the way you see your situation, the way that you see your abilities, I guess the way that you see your opportunity, it's the way that you look at things. And with a slight shift in the way that you see things, you can completely change things. So in today's video, what I'm going to be doing with you is I'm going to share a couple, well, first I'm going to give you a bit of a foundation about how your mind works, okay? I guess, and so we're going to go into a little bit of that so that you can get a little bit of a foundation. Then I'm going to get into 3 case studies, so including 2 other people and 1 of myself, showing you proof that just by a slight shift in perception, completely difference in life. Complete difference. Like I'm talking about a 180. Like, whoa! Real quick. And in fact, in one of those cases, it only took 2.5 weeks. Yeah, 2.5 weeks. So it didn't take 90 days or 120. I'm going to go through those things, and then at the end, I'm going to give you 2 very powerful tools that you can use to begin shifting your perception about whatever it is that's holding you back to take things to that next level. And I really am eager to hear all of your feedback in terms of what changes you have made. And I guess in this short, and I want to get the time frame in which you're doing it. I really want to get your feedback on that, okay? So let's get going. Perception. Again, it is the way that you and I look at things. It's the way that you and I look at things. Now, I said I would start out with showing you a bit about how the mind works, okay? So let's take this. And to those people who are already subscribers to the channel, you're like, this diagram again? Yes, because it's the core, it's the mind, it's where everything starts. So follow me. So you got the mind is made up of 2 parts, the conscious mind and the subconscious mind, okay? Now, the conscious mind is the thinking mind. So on the conscious level, you and I choose our thoughts. We choose our thoughts. I chose the clothes I was going to be wearing today to shoot this video. I chose what my subject was going to be for today. I chose the day I was going to shoot it. Those are all conscious level decisions, right? So I chose my thoughts. Now, the subconscious mind works differently. The subconscious mind is the emotional mind. Okay, so you choose your thoughts, but your thoughts cause your feelings. Okay? This is tying into perception. Walk with me, walk with me, walk with me. If you learn, if you grasp everything that I'm going to be sharing with you in this video, I'm not kidding when I say that things can change for you very, very quickly. And I'm talking monumentally. Even if you're doing well, like I said, if I'm doing pretty good. Well, pretty good isn't great. And if you're doing great, you could become incredible. If you become incredible, then you could become legendary. Hall of Famer. Yeah. Okay? So remember, the biggest room in all of our homes is the room for improvement. So, subconscious, so you choose your thoughts. Your thoughts cause your feelings. Your feelings are expressed through your body in your actions or inactions. And your actions or your inactions produce your results. Okay? So, how does this relate to perception? The first case study I'm going to give you is Brandon. Now, Brandon is a graduate of mine, and when I first met him, he was 21 years old, and he was a financial advisor. He just gotten his license. He was struggling. He wouldn't go out there and talk to people. He wouldn't go out there and connect with people. In fact, you know what? Let me let him tell his own story. Let's run the clip.
So when I first started with Noel, I was a 22-year-old at a university. I was formerly a financial advisor working with Desjardins, and I was the new guy in the office. Didn't have the mindset, didn't really know how to approach people. I was very fearful because of my age, why would people trust me? And after working with Noel, he really did that change in my mindset and shifted my perception that, I'm a smart guy, I'm full of energy, I have a lot of value to add to people's lives, and what I don't know I can leverage off other experts. And he really taught me how important it was to have that shift of perception. And I mean, within the first month I was skating circles around the old guys. They couldn't keep up, and I went from being a brand new guy making zero commission within my very first year being the top salesman in insurance. And I mean, ever since then I've just been following my heart and keep following my desires, and that mindset's just been driving me. I'm now a vision architect. I'm actually in the process of building another company called Your Legacy. I have a couple of venture capitalist projects, own 2 homes. I mean, this is all by the age of 24 years old. I would have never thought this to be ever possible. I still would have figured I'd be chipping away at my university debt I had of $40,000. So literally, it changed the mindset that has just completely projected my life path into something that I never thought was possible. And it's all thanks to Noel. He said, to change that mindset, young guys can do it, and young guys are doing it. So for that, I thank him. I mean, it's changed my life. It's changed my world. And 22-year-old, if you're 19, 18, doesn't matter. You can do it. He will show you how.
Pretty incredible, huh? So let's break it down a little bit. Let's break it down just a little bit. So with Brandon, he felt that he was too young. He thought he was too young. And because he was too young, people would not take him seriously. Right? Because he was too young, nobody would take him seriously. And because of his age, he's also inexperienced. Oh my God, my spelling today. CED. Y'all get the idea. One of the great things about these things is that you don't have to be perfect. You know what I mean? You just have to be functional. That's what my mentor, Joel Bauer, said. All right. So people felt that he felt that he would, because he's inexperienced, people also wouldn't listen to him. And remember, it's a fair point, right? He's thinking, he's 21 years old. He's going to be talking to people who've got financial portfolios, who are probably old enough to be his parents. And why would they listen to me, right? Now, based on him feeling that way, so remember, these are the feelings that he's having right now, right? Those are the feelings that he's having. He's feeling anxious. He's feeling inadequate. He's feeling weak. Okay? As a result. So his thoughts were, people aren't going to take him seriously, and he's inexperienced. So the feelings are inadequacy and weakness. So then what happens when it comes to this part? Of course, it led to inactivity. So he looked for every excuse not to take action. Sound familiar to anybody? What were his excuses? Well, let me play some video games. Or you know what? Let me go hang out with my friends and smoke some weed. Are you getting me? He looked for an out. Why? Because the two motivating factors in life are pain and pleasure. We'll do everything we can do to avoid pain and everything we can do to gain pleasure. Pain and pleasure are two motivating factors in life. So the pain is a feeling. So he did everything he could do to avoid having to take the action. So he takes inaction. And of course, what were his results? His results, no money. That's the result. A crappy paycheck. So what happened? Brandon, I brought him through a little bit of a perception shift. I said to him, well, first of all, let's talk about this whole inexperience thing. Because I'm sure, and as I'm talking about him, I want you to think about you in your situation. Particularly if you're starting something that's new, you're obviously not experienced at it. Right? How do you get experience? By doing the thing, right? Okay, so he said he's inexperienced. I said, well, tell me something. As a financial advisor, do you have a mentor? Yes. Okay. And I said, your mentor, how old is he? He's about 65. I'm like, okay. I guess, what does his financial portfolio look like? He said, dude, the guy is loaded. He started rhyming down all the things that his advisor had, like the head advisor had. Like he's very, very wealthy guy. Very, very wealthy guy. And I said, okay. So when you go to approach your client, when you go to talk to your client, I want you to first of all think the stuff that you have learned from your mentor. That knowledge alone puts you light years ahead of 90% of the population. Why do we say that? Because 90% of the population do not earn over six-figure in income. 90% of the population doesn't do that. Does not do that. This top 10% earn over 100 grand a year. Which means a lot of them, in terms of even from when it comes to an investment standpoint, most are just focused so heavy on just trying to do their work and pay their bills. They're not even thinking about investments. They wish they could enter into the world of making investments. Come on, right? Like this, I guess. And so they're in survival mode. So just from the education that you've had from them, I want you to think about what difference that makes for you. For what difference could you make in their lives? So here's what I want you to do. I want you, when you talk to your client, I want you to say, you're not going to lean on your understanding. You're going to say to your client, listen, my mentor, I guess at my office, this is his name, and this is what he's produced in his life. He's teaching me by all the principles of how to retire myself by the time I'm age 25. Those things that he's applying to me and showing me, I'm going to show you. I can show you how to retire in the next 10 to 15 years, 20 years, however long it is. Okay? Like that's where you get. Do you think that will get somebody's attention? Yes, because they're not leaning on your understanding. They got that you are learning from somebody else who's already made it. Does that make sense? He goes, yeah. So he's going to leverage the knowledge of somebody else. When I first started out as a trainer and as a coach, I leveraged my relationship with my mentor, the late great Bob Proctor. And so I would say, well, I've been taught by Bob Proctor. Now, when people Googled him and looked him up, because he's in over 100 countries, got a private jet, he's been transforming lives from all over the world, and he was on The Secret, all of that stuff helped to lend weight. So I use that. Now somebody might say, well, Noel, I don't have a mentor. Find one. Find somebody that you can leverage. Even if you just get the mentorship from them for a couple of, because first of all, mentorship isn't always necessarily direct. In the instance with myself and Bob Proctor, yes, I was taught by him. But mentorship comes in different forms. You can say, I'm a student of this person. If you've been on YouTube and you've been following their stuff, you're a student of theirs. You can use that. That's legitimate, as long as you make certain that you can deliver for this person. You know what I mean? Whatever results you're supposed to deliver for them, that's real, right? So bottom line is, he got a perception shift. And I guess, how do you think he began to feel when I shared that idea with him? Empowered, emboldened, stronger, right? And so as a result of that, what do you think happened to his activity? Do you think it went up or down? His activity level went through the roof, right? So then what happened to his money? What happened to his income? Oh my God, look at this. He had a happy face around his income. Things changed. Things changed. Oh my God, right? So a slight perception shift, and he went number one in his office. Oh, I forgot the other one. Because he's young. And I said, being young can be an asset. You don't have responsibilities of kids. You don't have the responsibility of major bills. So you're actually in a good situation. So you could obsess over the markets. You could obsess over creating the best financial plans for people. And so when you're sitting down with people, you can say, I'm leading. Young sometimes means leading edge. Young means fresh, new ideas, different concepts. Are you getting what I'm saying? So it comes down to the way you look at it, the perception, which changes how you feel, which is going to change how you act, which is going to change the result. Yeah. Okay. So that's Brandon. Hope you're getting some juice from this today. I hope you're really getting some juice. Okay. So the next person was Rami. I affectionately refer to her as Auntie Rami. She was the most senior person that I've ever had in my programs to date. She's 81 years old, 81. And when I started working with her, and Rami was, I wish I had the video from that class, I just don't have it, but here's the picture, Auntie Rami. And by the way, I call her Auntie because in the Caribbean culture, like my roots are Trinidad and Guyana, it's rude to call somebody who's your senior by their first name. So you call them Auntie or Mr. So-and-so or Mrs. So-and-so. So Auntie Rami. So Auntie Rami, she came from South Africa. And she lived in South Africa during apartheid, one of the most dark periods in South African history. It was a vicious time period for anybody who was black in South Africa. It was brutal. Like this, so you're talking about checkpoints, you're talking about violence, you're talking about raids of homes. It's sort of like in the United States where they have you can't go to certain restaurants, you can't drink from certain fountains, you can't use certain toilet because of the color of your skin. So that was the apartheid system. And so she left South Africa as a child, hating her country because, that's what she lived under, right? But then years later, she returned years after Nelson Mandela was released from prison and became president. And obviously, there were some changes made in South Africa. And by the way, because I already know there's certain people say, no, South Africa still got issues. There's no country on earth that doesn't have issues. Like, none. But at the end of but South Africa is 100 times better today than it was then. Okay? You're not living. It's not the same, right? And it's a beautiful country. So when she went back to visit her homeland, she fell in love with her country again. She fell in love with it. And she really wanted to show people the beauty of South Africa. She wanted to show people the beauty of South Africa. And so she had this idea that came into her mind that she wanted to do tours. She wanted to do tours to South Africa. But again, she's thinking to herself, whew, I'm old. I'm old. Are people going to want to really travel with me and go with me to go see South Africa? Like, who wants to hang out with an 81-year-old? This is what she was thinking, okay? And she was also thinking, I have never run a business before. I've never run a business ever in my life. And the third thing is, I don't know how to sell. I've never done sales before. Whew. So these were her 3 limiting perceptions. Okay? Now, with these 3 limiting perceptions, oh my God, right? You're looking at, well, she's old. Well, that's true. 81, it's mature. It's ripe, right? Okay. Well, here's the thing. And I said to her, I said, one of the biggest things that people love, absolutely love, is to learn from somebody who's been through it. Somebody who lived the tough stuff. Who better to learn the histories? People would, for me, I told her, I said, I would love to go and learn about how it looked before, because you can give me the before and show me the after of how things have changed in your country. That would be a rich history lesson, don't you think? And she was like, yeah, right. And I said, I bet you there's a lot of other people who feel the exact same way. They would love to go and explore and get a chance to see South Africa from a person who was there, seeing both of those 2 situations, those 2 worlds, right? So, and then she was like, oh, yeah, okay. So that was perception number 1. First of all, how do you think she began to feel as I gave her a different idea? How do you think she began to feel? She started to warm up to the idea. Are you getting me? I guess. And then I said to her, well, in terms of business, and I said, sometimes we get into our heads about this idea of launching a business as though all business is an exchange of a good or a service for money. That's it. Do you think you could think of some people who may want to go to South Africa? Yeah, okay. Do you think that they're going to be paying to go? Yes. So all you're going to do is work out an arrangement with the travel agency, with the excursions company, with the hotel, I guess, and you're going to mark up a couple of bucks in there for yourself, for everybody that pays, because you're arranging everything. So they're just giving you the money they're giving you the money to say thank you for arranging it, so I don't have to use my time to do it, and they're going on this trip. That's it. And she's like, okay. It's got that whole idea, because when people think of business, they think of a huge warehouse and big staff and all these people. Business is a relationship between people. That's all it is. That's all business is. So as long as you exchange something for yourself, if somebody is a babysitter, that's a babysitting business. They got paid to sit there and look after somebody's kids. They got paid to do that. Are you getting me? That's a business. Not a big business, but it's a business. It becomes a bigger business if you open up a daycare, right? Like this, now that becomes babysitting to the max, right? So she said she wasn't good in sales, or she didn't know how to do sales. And I said, Auntie Rami, have you ever recommended a good deal to somebody like this on anything, whether clothes or anything like that? She goes, yeah. I said, did the person go and buy the stuff? She said, yeah. And she says, well, did you get a commission check? No. And I said, so you've already done sales before. You just haven't been paid for it. Are you getting what I'm saying? A recommendation or a referral is sales. And sometimes it's not even about money in that, because sometimes it's ideas. People come out and they come to my seminars, or you go to other people's seminars, you're paying for ideas. Ideas that can help you elevate and take things to the next level. Are you getting what I'm saying? So that's sale. That's all sales is. I said, do you think that there are people who would be that you can think about who would be willing to, who want to go to South Africa? Number one, because remember, it's their vision. They want to go to South Africa, are willing to pay to go, and are willing to have you facilitate. She says, yeah. Okay, so let's go facilitate. Here, she got emotionally involved with that new idea, got super excited. She took massive action. I guess, and you know what? Want to know what the result was? Drum roll, please. $21,000 in 2.5 weeks. She outperformed everybody in the class. 81-year-old Auntie Rami. Yeah. Yes. A slight perception shift. changes the way that you feel. And it changes what you're willing to do, which is going to change the result. You can change your reality within 90 to 120 days. I'm telling you. So I'll just give you one last quick example using myself, and then let me move into the tools to help you so that you can use these tools to help to take your game to the next level. Years ago, it's about 9 years ago now, actually, I was in Toronto at First Fridays. It's an event that where the Black business community comes together the first Friday of every month. And there was a delegation that came in from from Jamaica to come out and share about these different projects that we could invest in Jamaica, where we could buy these little condos. And the condo prices range from like 55 grand to and about $70,000. The thought that went through my mind, my perception was, why would I want to invest in a third world country? I guess I'm in the first world country. And I know it's a shitty mindset to have, but I'm just telling you to be honest, that's how I felt. This is a developing country. Well, I'm in a first world country. Toronto real estate's on fire. Why would I even entertain that? Like this. So not realizing that I could have got 3 properties or 4 properties for the price of 1. Where did I get my perception shift? When I went to Jamaica through in the pandemic. I did not want to do lockdowns in the cold. So I decided to go to Jamaica, and I went there, and when I was there and I started looking into real estate, and I started to see the prices, I was like, oh my God, because those same things that were selling for $55,000 and $70,000 were now selling for $200,000, $225,000, $250,000, $270,000. I met people down there who had started investing in real estate at the age of 24, and now they're like 34, 35. They own like 10, 15 properties, have become multimillionaires, and their cash flow is insane. The perception that I had cost me millions of dollars. So when I came to another friend of mine told me about another country called the Dominican Republic, and he told me there's a huge opportunity. You gotta take a look at it. I remembered what happened in Jamaica. So I said, let me take a trip and let me come and see. Let me see. So I came out and I started looking at it, and I'm like, oh wow. And so I met with the city of Puerto Plata and Sosua Cabarete, and I met with the urban planners, and they showed me the growth plans, and I'm like, oh my God, my head is exploding because I'm thinking about all of the possibilities, and now I've got a multi-million-dollar project here. So my perception shifted, yes. The way I felt about it changed, my action changed, and now I have a multi-million-dollar project that we're building here in East Cabarete. Look at that. And I've got a couple other projects now that we're actually going to be working on, which is really cool because a really new concept just came up, and I'm like super excited about it. Oh, I'm stoked. So yeah, it's exciting. So just by a slight perception, I never thought I could live in the Caribbean until I went to Jamaica. Because the longest I had been in the Caribbean was usually 2 to 3 weeks. I'd go visit family or go see friends. You know what I mean? When I was in Jamaica, having stayed there for 6 months, it was like, oh, I could do this. You know what I mean? It's just amazing to see how a slight perception shift can completely change your world. Sometimes, when you're sitting in your own city, you don't see anything outside of that. When you're sitting in your own country, and some of you have never traveled to another country, which is something you really need to do. You need to expand and see that there's a life in a world beyond the one that you've known. And the more that you travel, and everybody who's traveled will agree with me, I'm sure you're nodding your head, it changes you, man. It's better. You don't want to see it on CNN. You want to go see it for yourself. You know what I mean? Like this, and go and experience it for yourself. Different cultures, different ideas, because it just opens up a world of opportunities. So things have changed for me, and so have my results changed. So that's 3 case studies where I'm showing you how a shift in perception can change things. So let's get down to the tools that can help you with your perception shift things really quickly. Let's get to the tools. Whew, okay, that's hard work. All right. So first one, for my tools, first one is power questions. What's a power question? Well, you remember when I was going through the examples with Brandon and Auntie Ramy, when they said, I'm too young, or I'm too old, or I'm too fill in the blank, a power question would be like, well, what are the advantages of being young? What are the advantages of being older, doing what I'm doing? So then we start listing what are all the advantages. And I already gave some of those with Brandon. I said, well, when you're young, you've got abounding energy. You have less responsibility, so you can totally focus on something. You could be considered leading edge and fresh and new and coming out with game-changing concepts and ideas. That's, advantages of being young, right? Like this. And also you've got more time. So if you make a mistake, you've got more time to correct those mistakes. Are you getting what I'm saying? So those are just, when you ask the question, you come up with more powerful answers. With Auntie Ramy, with being too old, well, the truth is, being older means that you have more wisdom, presumably. Right? Like this. So, particularly in her case, Auntie Ramy is a very wise woman, very wise. I guess, and so people, you have wisdom, you have got experience. People will have a higher level of trust when they're listening to somebody who's already been through it all. It's like listening to an elder. Does that make sense? So that's by asking one power question. So somebody says, "Well, I don't have experience." Okay, well then, if you don't have the experience, well then, whose experience can you leverage? Whose experience could you leverage? Because it doesn't have to be your experience. It could be other people's experience, OPE. Other people's experience. By asking the power question, that changes things. Are you getting what I'm saying? So I want you to think about every excuse that you make for not going after what you want. And I want you to come up with a list of power questions that you could ask in order to completely change the way that you look at something, okay? And sometimes this is a good thing to do with a friend. So get with a friend like this, or somebody who you really respect, you know what I mean, and start thinking, okay, these are all the limitations that I've got. These are all the limitations. How could I get around these limitations? What can we do to get around them? Okay? So those are all the what questions, okay? Now, the next thing is, if you can't figure out the what to do, then the next thing is, who can help you? Who can help you? A lot of people, their dreams die at the, I don't know what to do. And so I'm not going to do anything. If you have an idea or inspiration to do something, remember, as I've said, and this is your first time hearing me today, inspiration is an instruction from our Creator to do something. It's an instruction. And God isn't going to give you the instruction or the idea and not give you the tools to make it happen. Okay? So the who. You can look for mentors. You can look out for guidance in that kind of a way. Now, somebody says, well, where would I look? Well, you can look online. The internet's the equalizer, man. On YouTube, just about anything you would ever want to do in life, there's somebody else who's already doing it. And if you find somebody, particularly if they're not in your country or whatever the case may be, so nobody's seen as competition, there are a lot of times people are open. And the truth is, the most successful people tend to be the most people who are most open to share ideas, because they're self-assured. They're not worried about that. So go online and look for people that you can talk to. Now there is the passive mentorship, which is like on a YouTube or any other platform where people are giving out great information or great tips or great education. Then so that's the passive way. But then there's also the active way, which is through direct mentorship. Now somebody may say, well, if I get a mentor, what do I offer? Well, one, you could offer somebody to go for dinner or for drinks, I'll buy. Look, let me take you to dinner. Would you mind just sharing a couple of ideas, sharing some time with me? That's one idea. Another thing is, hey, listen, if you could help me with this is what I'm trying to accomplish. If you can help me with this, what do you need me to do? I'm willing to trade or barter services with you. But I can help. I'm good at X. I'm good at Y. I'm good at Z. This is what I have to offer, like this. Now, and if it's not about bartering, then you can offer to pay them, like this. I guess, and so you can say, hey, listen, if you can sit down with me and I just need a little bit of consulting on this idea, how much would you want me to pay you for your time? Like this. And then, of course, the final way to do it is partnership, where you can have somebody who is an expert in what they do, and you're an expert at what you do. And if you can combine both of your skills, now you can share the profits in the growth of whatever it is that you're doing with that person. You know what I mean? So there's partnership. So those are different methods that you can use with the who to help you get to where you want to go. I really hope that you're going to take me up on this. People have paid me big money to sit down to get these suggestions and this advice like this, and that you'll actually take some action. I want you to let me know in the comments what you're getting from this. I want you to let me know in the comments what you're going to do with this information, because if all it takes is a slight shift in your perception, I'm telling you, it doesn't even have to take 90 to 120 days. You could do it in weeks. You can do it in days. It just comes down to how massive is the action that you're willing to take, and how fast are you willing to get going, I guess. And do not wait till tomorrow. Look, there's a book I'm in a study group with called Think and Grow Rich. And, you know, one of the things that it talks about is the universe likes speed. You've got to get moving quickly. The book in Napoleon Hill says, start where you are. Start with the resources that you have right now, even if it's next to nothing. Get moving today, because when you take one step towards God, He takes 10 steps towards you. I hope you got massive value from this today. If you like this video, please like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and let's continue to grow together. Have a powerful day.
We can shine in a crowd, we never hesitate. Let us rise to the clouds.